This is the S&P 500 ETF SPY one-day reading for January 4th, 2023. It's currently October 31st, 2023, 12:17 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading is currently $415.45 USD, and the shuffle file we're playing for you here in the corner was created on October 25th, 2023 at 8:33 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for SPY throughout the fourth is the interference card is normally it's multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, but it is nullified, meaning that we may have multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance and then actually break through. It's a difficult reading to determine highs and lows based on just pure SO meta, because we've got a nullified theme, we've got a nullified high card, we've got a nullified trade card. But the high card is the completion of a rally. I think probably what will happen is we have the end of a rally, but the end of the rally doesn't take place actually during the day. So we probably finish at a high, and that's really the end of the rally. Behavior around the lowest low for the day, we have from a significant decline on a one-day chart from a peak, specifically from a prominent peak that would stand out. The high and the low seem to be within close time proximity to each other. And again, the highs at the end of the day, so this might lead one to believe that we're going to open lower or have a significant decline on the 5th. We'll get into that in more detail as we progress. But before we go any further, I want to make sure that everybody's aware the whole purpose of the channel is to follow through on the rule of karma and transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that here on the channel with the rule of karma. It's a threefold rule, an agreement, an unwritten agreement between everybody who's profiting from this information and the universe. The universe is fine with us profiting from the stock market, making ourselves wealthy, as long as it's also creating goodwill in the world, doing something good to better the lives of others. You must make sure that you're taking care of other people, right? As long as you do that, it's all good. You take care of yourself. You can do great things. But you don't do that putting it off. You do that in the present moment. So make sure to follow through on the rule of karma every time you profit, so that the universe doesn't shut off the flow of abundance through this channel to you. It will do that quite quickly. 5% of the profit should be donated forward to one of the charities here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. You just click here on one of the links and donate, and then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel here at one of these links. If you're international, you can either use this app here, Wise, which works really great, or you can donate through the YouTube channel. YouTube does take 30%, but hey, if you're international and you're having difficulty, that's one way to do it. So that's 10% total. It leaves you at 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love and keep a clear conscience. As long as you do that, my friends, you follow the rule of karma, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. Remember, neglect to follow through on that rule, and the universe will shut off that flow of abundance through this channel post haste. Very difficult to get it back on. Very difficult to get it back on once it's off, my friends. Don't be that guy. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. All right, so we're still in the strife energy, and I think the strife energy is kind of getting pulled throughout like a couple of days here, because on the sequence of events, we actually don't see the Emperor card until Monday. We have quite a few strife kind of like cross-reading correlations, but not congruencies, and then we have strife correlations here on the 5th. So I think we're probably rallying, in other words, here throughout the day. And I'm advised, there's really no trade advisement either, but from the standpoint of a cross-reading congruency, we have the correlation here from the Lust trade card to the 4th. We also see the Lust trade card here, so it's like a secondary correlation. I would be very cautious in the pre-market. We probably open lower in the pre-market, and then there's some sort of mixed behavior right around the open or into the open. Out of the open, a big move higher, reaching for a distant resistance, and by that I mean not the nearest resistance, but at least one past that. And then at that resistance, we should kind of flatten out and move sideways for a bit into like roughly the 10 to 11 o'clock hour. I think it's probably a peak here around 11 o'clock, and then there's a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. That sharp drop is going to take us into the day's low, about midday, around like 12 to 1. But out of that low, guys, remember the high and the low are within close time proximity to each other. And I think out of that low, we have a big move higher and a breakout probably around 1 o'clock. And then sideways rotation between roughly 1 and 2 that turns into a fast sudden move higher, ending that sideways rotation. That fast sudden move higher makes a move up like a new peak or probably a new high for the day, where we move higher through resistance. We stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. And then in the last hour, we have like either like a gap up or like just like this like big like whoosh, whoosh, like move to the upside to reach a high right around the end of the day. Remember, off of that high at the end of the day, we're going to have a notable decline. There's a lot of things indicating that we should be positioning ourselves for a drop. It looks like at the end of the day on the 4th, we probably are in a drop there. You want to go down, buddy? Right, so on the prior day towards the end of the day, you also could have like accumulated a long position either for like a multi-day short, a multi-day swing trade, or like maybe just an overnight swing trade into the end of the day here. But either way, I'd probably want to be long, at least partially going into this day. It's risky though, because we might open lower. That's why I say partially, right? If we open lower, then I would open up more of a long position here. But I think other than that, what I want to do is just remain long into the end of the day, where I close that long position at the end of the day for a swing trade. If I'm looking for a day trade, it's not really advised. There's no like advisement for a day trade, but in the midst of this midday decline increasing with momentum, could probably open up a long position and close it here at the end of the day for a day trade. Some volatility for the following day with the fast sudden move higher that ends that volatility. That's what we're seeing as the sneak preview card. And we'll get into that in more detail when we get into the reading for the 5th. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this information, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel. And as always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. My friends, you could have got this information. You could have watched this reading as early as as early as November 1st, if you had early access on our website, which you get here at tarotfortraders.com. Go to our services, SO Meta Posts. Right here at the top, early access to our posts. Click here to subscribe. It's $29 a month, $249 for the year. It gets you the earliest you can get access to any of our free posts. Remember, there are also private posts. The early access does not include the private posts, and by that I mean the full versions of the monthly readings. Early access gets you early access to everything that's public on YouTube. Blessings, my friends. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.